Okay, my wonderful viewers, welcome back to another update where I am looking for new amplification for my Ocellia loudspeakers, 98 dB, 16 ohm, 15 watts. Remember that number, 15 watts. I'll be back on that. Again, I need to thank you for all the suggestions that you have done. Here's a few of the suggestions that I got. I got some info on the exposure amps. There is a request for the AudioNote Maestro Tone Meister. And interestingly enough, when they first came out, the AudioNote Maestro amplifiers, which is way back in the day, I was a regular customer at my local dealer, and one day he was so busy that he asked me to bring a customer a new Maestro, AudioNote Maestro amp, and I installed it and we listened to it a little bit. So I know the Maestro, I love the Maestro, but this is a $15,000 amplifier. I saw some secondhand for $7,000, but my budget is around $4,000, so that's probably not going to be the one. Some of the Redford amplifiers, the STA 15 or 25, I love the hardcore look of those kind of amplifiers. Someone said, why don't you ask Case Pell to build you one? Something I did not even think about, but that might be an option. Now, Case Pell is one of the names in the Netherlands to build tube amplifiers, so I'm not sure if he is interested in a $4,000 budget, maybe too low, I don't know, but good suggestion. Somebody said the Luxman SQN150, that is a new amp. Love the look of that, but my recent experience in the last years in listening shows, listening to the newer Luxman equipment, was that it was a bit too sterile, a bit too bright. Help me out, am I correct? Line magnetic, the LM845IA or 1A, I think IA. Maybe go old school Dynaco. The first watt, the F1, F2 or F4 versions were recommended. That's an interesting option. General recommendations for low-powered Class A amplifiers. Icon Audio is one of the brands that you guys called out. They look very nice. Moon River, the Moon River 404. That was a new one for me. I have to do some research into that. Looks interesting. And then there's of course a recommendation for the Jadi amplifiers. That's one of those brands that I used to when I was younger, when I wanted one of those, but they were too expensive. So maybe I should look into that. The Audio Analog Maestro. Now that is a 150 watt amplifier. I'm not sure. You see, this is recommended 15 watts for the amplification at 16 ohms. And this is a 150 watts amplifier. Although I like the looks of that thing, and I'm sure it is a wonderful amp, but I don't think you should be matching it with a 98 dB, 16 ohm, 15 watt loudspeaker. The AudioNote Auto was recommended, which is interesting because the AITOS equipment that I just sold, before that, I had the AudioNote Auto. If you compare those two, the AudioNote Auto is a wonderful amplifier. I like AudioNote, but the AudioNote Auto is, in comparison, it is not transparent enough. And there is the Shanling A300, which is also a, I believe, a 2 times 200 watts, 8 ohm amplifier. So, first off, thank you for all those suggestions. I am going to look into that. The things that I'm going to, in order to make this list a little bit shorter, I don't think I should be going with a 200 or 300 watts amplifier on a speaker like this. And then there's of course tubes and transistors, so I'm going to look into having a lower powered Class A transistor amp. That might be something. You know, maybe you remember my very first audiophile amplifier was the Musical Fidelity A1. I loved that thing. So thank you for all those suggestions. I'm going to look into them, and well, to be continued. See you in the next one.